Live from the Sports and Recreation Center on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents exclusive NCAA Division III. Features the Bearcats of Baruch College taking on the Dolphins of the College of Staten Island. Good evening, everybody. This is Joe Foreman, joined by Mike Babuski, bringing you all the action live from center court during tonight's game. And Mike, the Dolphins are coming off another conference win, a pair of conference victories, one here over John Jay, a game which you. And the Dolphins are back on track in the conference following a loss to Brooklyn College. That game was played back on January 17th. Tonight they take on the Bearcats of Baruch College. What are you looking for from the Dolphins in tonight's game?
Joe, I'm looking for the Dolphins to continue the strong play that we've seen from them really throughout the entire season. And really you could take it back to a couple of games, the last game of the regular season and the last couple of games of the CUNYAC tournament, where this team really seems to have turned the corner. And they had a little bit of a hiccup, as you mentioned, in that 73-68 game against Brooklyn College. But, I expect to see more continued strong play out of this Dolphin team. It's a team coming off of a nice and I would expect the Dolphins to continue with their strong play here tonight.
And going back to that loss against Brooklyn for just a moment, one thing the Dolphins will need tonight, connecting that game with tonight's matchup against the Bearcats to get back on track, or I should say continue to remain on track in the conference, are strong performances from Samantha Flecker and Christina Passaturo, two players who played very well in that loss against Brooklyn College. Flecker had 27 points in that game, including 4 of 7 from three-point range. Passaturo with 19 in that game. And, of course, their strong play has continued since then. Passaturo against the Bloodhounds of John Jay put up 27 points, a huge game for Passaturo, and that's a game where she only played 19 minutes at halftime, had huge numbers up on the score, but I believe it was somewhere around 22 points, 23 points at halftime for Passaturo in that game. She shot 11 of 17, including 3 of 8 from downtown against the Bloodhounds in that matchup. And then in the following matchup against CCNY, the Dolphins' most recent game, the Dolphins had 5 players score in double digits, including Diana Todaro, Victoria Cray, Samantha Flecker, and Christina Passaturo, I should say. Yes, and Angelique Price, of course, the 5 starters for the Dolphins in that game, scoring in double digits. And they did so fairly efficiently as well. Angelique Price shooting 6 of 8, Samantha Flecker and Victoria Cray 4 of 10, and Diana Todaro 5 of 10. If they get another well-rounded effort like that here tonight against the Bearcats, this is a game the Dolphins should win. I should mention they did defeat Baruch College back on January 6th by 30 points. The final score in that game was 76-46.
Yeah, and Joe, you look back at the history between these two teams, and for people and even for some of the young ladies that have been here for all 4 years, they can remember when Baruch was the powerhouse, the team to be reckoned with, the team that nobody for years could beat within the CUNYAC conference. The last couple of years, it's been a little bit of a different story. And, as you mentioned, the Dolphins already went to Manhattan, played Baruch earlier this season, won by a final score of 76-46, a game that was also kind of pretty much never in doubt from the opening buzzer. So, Baruch, a strong and noble tradition in the CUNYAC conference, but have really struggled over the last few years, and the Dolphins have been able to take advantage of that.
And a big reason the Dolphins were able to take advantage of the Bearcats in that first matchup against Baruch College was the turnovers they forced. And overall this season, the Dolphins have forced an exorbitant number of turnovers per game. 30 turnovers averaged against the Dolphins this season. They forced 30, I should say, to put it more simply. But the Dolphins, as we've said many times already, have done a tremendous job forcing turnovers. That often creates easy opportunities in transition, and that's why we see so many crooked numbers up on the scoreboard. Just take a look right down here, the schedule, very quickly. They put up 104 against John Jay back on December 2nd. That game played on the road, but that game, a product of turnovers the Dolphins force, and they'll be looking to do that once again here tonight against the Bearcats. I'm trying to pull up the numbers from that first matchup against Baruch College. I'll have those for you in just a moment. We did mention earlier the Dolphins won that game by a score of 76-46, so a big 30-point win for CSI in that one of several big wins for the Dolphins so far this season, due in large part to those turnovers that they've forced, but also the Dolphins have done a great job shooting the basketball this season as well. They're approaching 40% from the field on the season. Christina Passatoro shooting well over 40%. Other contributors helping to push that field goal percentage up as well, and they've shot from three-point range, 29%, not a great number. They'd like to see that number increase, but when they've needed timely three-pointers, they've been able to hit those as well. So stellar shooting and great defense has propelled the Dolphins in the CUNYAC Conference this season. They'll look for another conference victory tonight.
Yeah, they will, Joe, and we should mention, we mentioned Christina Passatoro's name a few times. We should mention Christina picked up her 2,000th point against CCNY on Monday night, so another milestone for Passatoro as she continues to open up her lead as the leading scorer in CSI history with every basket.
And she's done so efficiently. We mentioned that in previous broadcasts as well. Passatoro's shooting has been stellar throughout the entire season, really her entire Dolphins career. This season for Passatoro, she's averaging a very strong number from there it is, 23.7 points while shooting 35% from downtown and 45% from the field. So very good numbers for Christina Passatoro so far this season, given the number of shots she takes per game as well. To remain that efficient within the number of minutes she plays on top of that is very impressive. Also, Samantha Flecker shooting the ball at over 40% for the Dolphins this season. They actually have several players shooting over 40%. Four of those players starting tonight: Christina Passatoro, Samantha Flecker, Victoria Cray, and Diana Todaro. We've applauded the Dolphins defense at many points during the season, the forcing of turnovers, but it's been stellar shooting as well that's gotten the job done for CSI so far this season.
Yeah, the Dolphins have really continued to play well throughout the season. The one lingering concern, of course, the injury to Jackie Calley. She hurt her leg a couple of games ago and still remains unavailable to the Dolphins. And, she's a very big part of this CSI Dolphin team. She has the ability to shoot the three-point shot, but, she has something that a lot of players on this team just don't have, and that's physical size and physical strength. And, we haven't gotten an update on Jackie's injury yet today. We hope to bring something for you maybe later in the game, but, getting Jackie Calley back into the starting lineup is something that really will help this Dolphin team going down the stretch, and especially in the CUNYAC Conference.
And a big matchup down the road, of course. The one loss in the conference coming to Brooklyn College. That game against Brooklyn College that I just referenced, the second matchup against the Bulldogs this season, will be played on February 8th on the road at Brooklyn College. The Dolphins, I'm sure, would love to have Jackie Calley back for that game. We're not sure if that's going to be a possibility, but I'm sure the Dolphins would love to have her back. And I did promise before that I'd get the numbers from that last matchup between the Dolphins and the Bearcats earlier this season. I do have those here in front of me, and of course the number that leaps off the page in that game, the 28 turnovers committed by Baruch College in that game. The Dolphins just not allowing them to make easy passes, not even allowing them to inbound the ball really in that game. And then on top of that, the Dolphins shot the ball very well. Samantha Flecker, 10 of 18 from the field with 23 points, and Christina Passatoro, 8 of 17, including 6 of 12 from downtown with 22 points in that game. Angelique Price also scoring double digits, albeit on 5 of 17 shooting. One of the few Dolphins who did not shoot the ball efficiently in that game, but overall a very strong performance for CSI. In the first quarter, they outscored the Bearcats by 10. In quarter number 2, Baruch actually outscored the Dolphins by 1. But then in the second half, the Dolphins outscored Baruch College 44-23 and ran away with that game. So if you take a look at that last matchup against Baruch College, points off turnovers for the Dolphins, huge. They also had 17 points off the bench as opposed to only 2 for the Bearcats. And in the paint, the Dolphins did a very good job as well, scoring 34 points inside. The Bearcats scoring 24 points in the paint of their 46 total points. So this is a team that can score inside. This Baruch Bearcats team, the Dolphins will have to protect the rim and defend high percentage shots. That's something we'll talk more about before tip-off.
Yeah, and you see the Baruch starters up on your screen a little bit early, and, for the Bearcats here tonight, still in the middle of rebuilding, and we'll get the starting lineups for you in just a little bit. But, we expect a good game tonight here, Joe, but, again, the Dolphins are coming in as a solid favorite, and we'll get to a little bit more of it when we get into the keys of the game. But, big start important for the Dolphins here tonight.
And a big key for the Bearcats will be to protect the basketball. That's just one of several things they'll have to do to come away with a victory here tonight against a very stellar Dolphins team that comes in with a 9-1 CUNYAC conference record. And we'll talk more about what the Bearcats have to do in this game here tonight to come away with a win. When we come back, we'll focus more on Baruch College. We will be right back with more NCAA Division III women's basketball here on CSI Sportsnet at csidolphins.com.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-one physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
And we're back here from the tank. We apologize for the extended break as we had a technical glitch which crashed the program, but we are back with you just in time for tip-off as the Dolphins starters are introduced. The Bearcats have already been introduced, and bringing in the starting lineups for the two teams, my broadcast partner, Mike Babusky.
Thanks a lot, Joe. First, for the visiting Bearcats, it'll be number 14, Danielle Arias, number 15, Melinda Spayu, number 25, Maria Mayandopoulos, number 31, Shannon Barrett. Barrett leads both scoring and rebounds, and number 34, Lisette Dunbar. For the College of Staten Island, it will be the usual starting 5 since the injury to Jackie Callie. Number 2, Christina Passatoro. Number 10, Angelique Price. Number 13, Diana Tadero. Number 14, Victoria Cray. And number 31, Samantha Flecker. The Dolphins looking to up their winning streak to 3 as they've come in and won their last 2 CUNYAC games. Joe?
And the Dolphins have found great success within the CUNYAC Conference this season. CSI wearing their white uniforms while the Bearcats are wearing Columbia blue. It will be Flecker and Barrett. Jumping for the opening tip, it goes to the Dolphins, and they quickly move out the other way as Passatoro's layup no good, rebounded by Tadaro and kicked back out to Cray, who will reset the Dolphins' offense. Flecker has it, swings it to Price in the corner. She puts up a three-pointer. That's no good. And that is rebounded by DeBoard.
Dolphins with a couple opportunities in their first possession, can't get a point.
Arias drives, throws up a wild shot. It's rebounded by Passatoro. Outlet pass to Price, and that pass is stolen by Melinda Spayu. Spayu defended by Price as she looks to set up the Bearcats offense. Uses the screen, is picked up by Flecker. Gives it up to DeBoard. Arias drives, passes over to Barrett. Pull-up jump shot, and that shot is good by Shannon Barrett.
Barrett leading the team in scoring at 18 a game, gives the Bearcats the first lead.
Flecker has it in the right corner. Bounce pass inside to Price, right back to Flecker, and her layup off the bottom of the rim, no good.
Couple of early missed layups for the Dolphins, Joe.
Shannon Barrett with the ball. She surveys the floor. She picked up her dribble. Ball now with Arias. Back over to Barrett. And Barrett's shot no good, rebounded by Flecker. Flecker defended by Spayu, swings it over to Passatoro, now Cray and Price. Price working on DeBoard. Passes over to Tadaro, who kicks out to Passatoro for 3. It's no good. And the rebound was initially grabbed by DeBoard. It's taken away by Tadaro.
Dolphins doing a good job on the offensive glass here early in the game.
Price has it left wing, back up to Cray. Passatoro inside to Flecker. Back out to Cray, wide open for 3 at the top of the arc. It's no good. Tadaro grabs it, puts it back up and in, and the Dolphins are on the scoreboard.
So it took the Dolphins 6 shots, Joe, but they finally get on the scoreboard and they tie the game at 2.
Well, you already said it, Mike. The Dolphins doing a great job on the offensive glass. Came away with a pair of offensive rebounds, if you could even call that first one a rebound. She may have even taken the ball away from Lisette DeBoard. But now it's Baruch College with the ball. Shannon Barrett drives inside and finishes a tough shot over Diana Todaro, who defended it well. And the Bearcats take the lead back. It's 4-2. And a foul is called. That will go against Melinda Spayu.
So an early foul on the freshman from Staten Island, Melinda Spayu. Spayu having a great freshman season, Joe, averaging over 14 points and almost 9 rebounds a game.
And right there, Cray tried to force it inside to Flecker. I think she bumped knees with one of the Bearcats players. Came up in a bit of discomfort. And the ball did go out of bounds off of Flecker. So possession belongs to Baruch College as Barrett crosses half court with it, gives it up to Arias. Free throw line jumper. No good, rebounded by Todaro. Left corner, it's Flecker. Back up top to Cray, and that pass sails over her head out of bounds. Possession right back to Baruch College.
Yeah, so the Dolphins a little careless with the basketball, Joe, and this is a dangerous Baruch Bearcat team. It's a team that you don't want to let them get the impression that they could stay in the game because they have plenty of talented players and a championship pedigree, so they are a dangerous club.
Miriandopoulos with the ball. Gives it back up to Arias. Defended by Cray. Arias not going anywhere with the ball yet. Gives it up inside to Barrett. Barrett drives. Pull-up jump shot, no good. Rebounded by Flecker. Flecker up to Passaturo. Passaturo crosses over. Gives it up to Price. Price inside. Her layup, no good. Rebounded by Barrett. Arias not ready for the pass, but able to corral it before it traveled over the sideline. Barrett with the ball. Passes it inside. Spayu gives it up, and it winds up back with Barrett. Arias puts up the long jump shot, no good. Rebounded by Todaro. Here comes Price across half court, looking to drive, kicks out to Passaturo. Todaro inside, finishes strong as she falls down to the floor.
So Todaro now with all 4 Dolphin points, Joe, and the Dolphins tie the game up at 4. Both teams struggling from the field here in the early going.
Todaro, as you mentioned, with all 4 Dolphins points, also has 5 rebounds, including 3 offensive boards. So a strong start for Diana Todaro. Arias with the ball now, working against Price. Price runs into a screen. Ball is swung back up to Barrett, who drives to her left. Kicks it out to Spayu, and now it's Miriandopoulos who takes the long 2-pointer. It's shot no good and rebounded by Cray. Flecker receives the pass from Cray, tries the corner 3. It's no good. Another offensive rebound for the Dolphins. It finds its way back inside to Flecker, who finishes on the feed from Christina Passaturo.
Yeah, Joe, the Dolphins continue to work their magic on the offensive glass, and although they've struggled to shoot, they take their first lead of the game at 4-2.
And a timeout
was 6-4, I should say. I'm sorry.
A timeout was called by the Bearcats. It is a 30-second timeout, so we will stay right here. And for the Dolphins, it's been 6 points in the paint, 4 of those coming in the form of second chance points. A great job on the offensive glass, as we've already mentioned. Diana Todaro leading the way in that department with 3 offensive rebounds. Angelique Price also has an offensive rebound, and Todaro also 2 of 2 from the field with 4 points. As we mentioned before, Samantha Flecker with the other 2 Dolphin points off of that last assist from Christina Passaturo. And the Dolphins did a great job on that last possession, getting set up after the offensive rebound. Quickly found an open player underneath the rim. It was Flecker who converted on the opportunity. She's 1 of 3 from the field early in this game with 5:14 to go here in this first quarter. Miriandopoulos brings it up for the Bearcats, gives it up to Barrett. Barrett drives and finds a wide open Lisette DeBoard underneath. She can't convert from in close. And that looks like a double dribble. Not called, and possession will stay with the Dolphins. So I think CSI caught a break there as Todaro lost the handle on that ball, appeared to double dribble.
I don't think there's any question, Joe, and the Dolphins already turned the ball over 3 times. Fortunate there not to get the 4th.
It's been a slow start for the Dolphins offensively. They've gotten a lot of their work done off of the offensive glass and around the rim. as Price drives and the foul called, I believe, before the shot attempt. It is indeed before the shot attempt. The foul is charged to Maria Miriandopoulos. As Tadara puts up the mid-range jump shot, no good. Rebounded by the Bearcats. Spire moves across half court quickly. Is defended by Cray. Now it's Barrett defended by Cray. The ball swung back up top to Arias. Arias gives it up to Miriandopoulos. Back to Arias. Arias drives to her right. Puts a shot up over Passaturo, no good. Fight for the rebound, it goes to the Dolphins. CSI looking to run. Passaturo gets inside and finishes through traffic, but I don't think she was credited with that basket. A foul called before the shot attempt on an acrobatic finish by Christina Passaturo.
Yeah, it was a nice move to the basket by Christina, Joe, but she's not going to get the benefit of the continuation as the foul is called on Miriandopoulos, her first.
Well, 3 points is greater than 2, and that's 2 potential points. I should say 2 points that would have been scored if that shot had been counted, but instead Passaturo knocks down the 3 from the right wing, giving the Dolphins a 9-4 lead.
First three-pointer of the game, Joe, for either team.
That's Shannon Barrett who puts up the 3. It's no good. Fighting for the rebound is Passaturo, but it goes to DeBoard. Corner three-pointer attempted by Arias, no good. Once again, rebounded by DeBoard. Miriandopoulos gives it up to Arias, who's been running the point for the Bearcats so far here in this first quarter. 3:33 on the game clock.
The Dolphins had been out rebounding Baruch 12-4 since those 2 offensive rebounds, Joe.
And that's an offensive foul call that will go against Daniela Arias. That's her first personal.
Yeah, Baruch has picked up 14 fouls here, Joe, in this first quarter, but just 1 on on 4 of their starters. You see the turnovers up on your screen. Dolphins with 3. The Bearcats commit their first turnover.
Substitutions about to be made, it looks like, as Nicole Bessie is at the scorer's table for the Dolphins, and the horn does sound. So Angelique Price will take a seat. Nicole Bessie checks in for CSI.
Baruch sitting right in the middle of the table at 4-5. A big game for the Bearcats here as they look to continue to creep their way up the CUNYAC standings.
Flecker swings it across the court to Passaturo, who knocks down the 3 from the right corner.
Chrissy with 2 back-to-back three-pointers. She leads all scorers with 6. The Dolphins with their biggest lead of the game.
The Bearcats have to be careful that Passaturo doesn't heat up from the field, and she's knocked down her last 2, both three-pointers. As the Dolphins come away with the rebound, push it up the floor quickly. Ball with Flecker in the right corner, back up to Passaturo as the Dolphins continue to swing it around the perimeter. They now look to reset the offense. Cray has it, drives to her right, kicks to Flecker in the right corner, but a foul is called, and it is an offensive foul charged to Victoria Cray.
So Cray picks up the first team foul for the Dolphins, Joe. The Dolphins in the middle of a 10-0 run, but they turn the ball over for the 4th time here in the first quarter.
Bearcats to inbound. It's Miriandopoulos with the ball now. She picks up her dribble, but able to find Barrett across half court. Arias drives, puts up the floater, and good finish there by Daniela Arias.
Yeah, Arias has shown some good flashes, but that's the first basket.
And the Dolphins immediately get back down the floor the other way, and Samantha Flecker knocks down the deep 2-pointer, extending the Dolphins' lead back to 8 points.
Flecker really becoming more and more of a factor on offense, Joe, for the Dolphins, and they're going to need her in big games down the stretch.
Arias brings the ball up for Baruch. Gives it up to Spayu. And Flecker gets in the passing lane and steals it. She's out ahead of Barrett. And Flecker lays it up and in off of the steal. So give the Dolphins 2 points off of a Bearcats turnover. The lead is now double digits. Miriandopoulos in the corner. Gives it up to Spayu inside. She's double teamed, and Bessie trying to trap her. Miriandopoulos looking. Gives it back up to Spayu. Not good spacing there by the Bearcats, and that's a turnover committed by Spayu. Passaturo ahead of the field now, and she lays it up and in. Dolphins lead now 12.
Yeah, biggest lead of the game as the Bearcats turn the ball over. For them to stay in this game, they can't afford turnovers, and there's another one, Joe.
That last turnover, not off of that inbounds pass. The previous turnover was a product of bad spacing. Two players right on top of each other. Really nowhere for Spayu to go with that basketball. And off of that inbound, just a lazy play there as Arias couldn't handle it on the pass from Barrett. So the Dolphins now will inbound in front of the Bearcats bench.
Looking at those points off of turnovers, 7-4 for the Dolphins so far, Joe.
Rosa Perone checked in following that turnover for CSI as Flecker puts up the corner three. It rattles out. Rebounded by DeBoard, and fans perhaps anticipating a jump ball call. It didn't happen as the Bearcats come away with it. Barrett with the ball defended by Flecker. She nearly turns it over as Spayu got a hand on it and tipped it over to Arias. Arias looking for somewhere to go with it. Was able to find DeBoard and then takes it right back. Again, poor spacing by the Bearcats. 4 on the shot clock. Barrett looking for Arias, and now with 1 on the shot clock, the Bearcats will inbound right in front of the Dolphins bench.
You know, Joe, when the Dolphins get going defensively, they're a very tough bunch, and it seems like the last few possessions they've started to turn up the defensive intensity. You've seen the turnovers and tough shots for the Bearcats.
And the Bearcats have made it a much easier task, both turning the ball over and poorly spacing the floor as Christina Pasaturo scores off of that latest Baruch College turnover.
And you remember, Joe, the Dolphins turned the ball over the first 3 times. 5 of the last 6 have been by Baruch.
Here comes Barrett on the drive, and after a strong start, her shot is off as she's been long on her last 3 or 4 attempts. And Pasaturo is blocked as she looked to take it right into the teeth of the defense. Dolphins now swing it around the perimeter. Megan McEwen also checked in. She finds Flecker on the right wing for 3, and once again, Flecker's three-pointer rattles out. And that'll wrap up the first quarter as no sense of urgency showed there by the Bearcats to get a shot up. Our score at the end of 1, the Dolphins 20 and the Bearcats 6. They wrap up the quarter on a 16-2 run. When we come back, we'll pick up the action in quarter number 2. Once again, our score after 1, the Dolphins 20, the Bearcats 6. You're watching CUNYAC basketball here on CSI Sportsnet at csidolphins.com.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-one physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
And we're back here from the tank after 1 quarter. It is CSI by 14 over Baruch College after the Bearcats did get off to a good start in this game. I believe they led by a score of 6-4, and then from that point on, it was all Dolphins.
Yeah, Joe, it was really a good job by the Dolphins. They came out and they started a little bit slowly because they weren't hitting their shots, but they've started to hit their shots more effectively.
The scoreboard and efficient shooting by Christina Pasaturo, Diana Todaro, and Samantha Flecker propelling the Dolphins to a 20-point quarter number 1, as it looks like we have another Bearcats turnover and it will be Dolphins ball. Megan McEwen to bring it up for CSI. Pasaturo has it on the right wing, passes inside to Perone, and Perone tried to force it into traffic looking for Nicole and Bessie, who was surrounded by Bearcats defenders. So it's Baruch ball now following the Dolphins turnover. Spayu brings it across half court for the Bearcats, defended by Mbesi. Almost lost the handle there for a moment. Barrett has it now. Drives inside, can't finish, rebounded by Perone. Bessie takes it all the way to the rim, but can't finish. She had a one-on-one opportunity in transition as Barrett works against Perrone and Passaturo. And the Dolphins are charged with a foul. It will go against Rosa Perrone on the shot attempt by Shannon Barrett.
Yeah, the Dolphins have struggled a little bit hitting their layups and hitting shots inside the paint, Joe, and a big swing in the game there. The Dolphins had an opportunity to take a 16-point lead, and if Shannon could hit her second free throw here, an opportunity for the Bearcats to cut it down to 12.
For the Bearcats, Dimitra Papadopoulos checked in to begin the second quarter, along with Emma Price. For the Dolphins, it's Flecker, Passaturo, Perrone, McEwen, and Mbesi. Flecker swings it up to Passaturo, bounce pass over to Mbesi. Flecker now has it, brings it back up to the wing, and swings it to a wide-open Passaturo for three. That rattles in and out, but Mbesi comes away with the offensive rebound. Kicks it over to McEwen, who puts up an air ball, and the Bearcats will bring it up the other way.
Yeah, so kind of like the first quarter, Joe, the Dolphins getting off to a little bit of a slow start offensively in the second.
There's the three-point shooting. The Bearcats yet to connect from downtown, but have connected from the painted area. The Dolphins only 2 of 9 from three-point range. Both of those three-pointers made by Christina Passaturo. And she will attempt another three, this time from the left corner, and she has the Dolphins' third made three-pointer in 10 attempts.
Yeah, and she also has 13 of the 23 Dolphin points. Barrett has 6 of the 10 for the Bearcats.
Barrett being defended by a pair of Dolphins. Gives it up. Now it's Papadopoulos and over to DeBoard. And she turns it over as Spayu fought for it. Passaturo now out in transition. Can't finish, but it's rebounded by Flecker, who's wide open underneath and converts.
Yeah, so good follow-up by Flecker, and she now has 8 points for the Dolphins.
Well, we've mentioned the Dolphins' prowess on the offensive glass in this game, but all season long, Samantha Flecker has been on the offensive boards for the Dolphins, creating second chances, and in some close games, those second chances can be the difference between a win and a loss. As Emma Price attempts her first shot, a three-pointer, it's no good. Rebounded by Spayu, and she connects on the post fadeaway, so a nice-looking post move there by Melinda Spayu to bring the Bearcats back to within 13. Bessie drives and kicks out to Flecker. She's wide open in the right corner. Her three-pointer no good, and yet another offensive rebound. This time it's Megan McEwen. Flecker up to McEwen, a deep two-pointer. And once again, McEwen finds nothing but air. As we will have a substitution for Baruch College. It is Daniela Arias checking in, replacing Emma Price. Arias will bring it up for the Bearcats, defended by McEwen. Now picked up by Flecker. She moves toward the right wing. Looking for an opening somewhere and can't find it. Gives it up to Barrett, nearly turns it over. And it indeed will be another Bearcats turnover, as Barrett really had nothing she could do there as that pass was made right into the arm, the outstretched arm of Megan McEwen. Barrett fought for it, but couldn't come away with the basketball.
8th turnover for the Bearcats.
McEwen inside to Perrone. Perrone playing with her back to the basket. Strong move to get inside, and an attempt from in close, no good. Perrone fights through contact there, as I think it was Barrett with a hand on the basketball. Also, DeBoard had a body on Perrone, tried to finish strong and could not. Arias met with 2 Dolphins defenders, kicks it out to Barrett for the open three. It's no good, rebounded by Perrone. Here come the Dolphins. It's Passaturo with the ball. Swings it into the left corner for Flecker, who finds Mbesi. Mbesi right back out to Flecker. Passaturo open on the right wing and knocks down yet another three-pointer. The Bearcats can't continue to leave Passaturo open on the opposite side of the floor where the ball is positioned. Whenever the ball is on one side, Passaturo seems to find an open wing on the other, and right there, Flecker finds Passaturo for three as Arias can't connect on her three-pointer for the Bearcats, rebounded by Passaturo. Passaturo finds Perrone, and Perrone finishes at the rim. Timeout called by the Bearcats. And I think it is a full timeout. It is a full timeout. So we will stay right here with you through the full timeout. And, Mike, what have you seen from the Dolphins that you like so far?
Well, Joe, you got to like the fact that Christina Passatoro has hit 4 3-pointers for the Dolphins here in this game. She leads all scorers with 16 for the Bearcats. They're 0 for 7 from the three-point line. And we have an opportunity here to take a look at the updated women's CUNYAC standing. You see Brooklyn and CSI both sitting at 9-1. Brooklyn with the tie-breaking edge currently. Hunter at 7-3. Lehman at 6-4. CCNY at 5-5, and Baruch at 4-5. And you see that big red line there, Joe, and that indicates who's going to get into the playoffs and who isn't. And of course, anything could happen in the second half of the season, but you're I'm pretty comfortable saying those will be the 6 teams in the CUNYAC Women's Conference championship this year.
And I'm sure Baruch would love to come away with a victory here tonight to solidify a spot above that red line. Of course, a win wouldn't clinch anything, but it could go a long way to ensuring that they're able to outlast York College in the CUNYAC standings. Still plenty of CUNYAC basketball left to be played and plenty of time left in this game here tonight. The Bearcats got off to a decent start. They didn't put points up on the scoreboard, but they were able to slow down this Dolphins offense, which has found so much success in so many games so far this season, primarily due to the turnovers they've forced. They've done that here in this first half tonight, and that's a big reason why they find themselves leading by 18. As Spy look to drive inside, and it's Diana Todaro taking the charge for the Dolphins. The offensive foul charge to Spayu is her second personal.
Yeah, and that's going to be the 9th turnover now for the Bearcats. And, we mentioned, Joe, the way that Baruch struggles to score and shoot, they really can't afford to turn the ball over, and Dolphin defensive pressure a lot to do with it.
As Cray's pass is tipped and knocked out of bounds by Barrett, Dolphins will inbound on the baseline. There's a look at the turnover numbers for both teams. You mentioned the 9 Bearcat turnovers. The Dolphins have committed 5 of their own. As Flecker finds Todaro inside with the bounce pass. Her shot no good. Rebounded by Barrett. Barrett pushes it up to Arias, who gives it right back to Barrett. And another offensive foul charged against Baruch College. That's now 3 or 4 charges called in this game. I think 3 have gone against Baruch and 1 against Victoria Cray. So the offensive foul certainly being called, and that's another Bearcats turnover.
Yeah, and the Bearcats a little short on the bench and really count on their best players to be out on the floor. So these are big early fouls.
We've seen the effect of foul trouble on the Dolphins, specifically in that game against Wagner College, and the Bearcats need all the help they can get at the offensive end here tonight, really at both ends of the floor. As the Dolphins have already put up 30 points and come away with yet another offensive rebound as the Dolphins score with another bucket off of a second chance, and they now lead by 20.
And it's been 30-8, Joe, since the Bearcats had that 4-2 lead.
The Dolphins thriving off of turnovers as well. There's another basket off of a turnover as Christina Passatoro lays it up and in. Spayu calling for some help on the inbound. No one was really close enough to make a pass for her easy. As Arias brings the ball up, her team trailing by 22 points. Barrett shoots over Todaro, and Barrett's shot no good. She's now struggling from the field. As Cray looks to run. And that's another offensive foul, the second offensive foul charged to Victoria Cray in this game. And her second personal foul.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Joe, Barrett just 2 of 10 from the field and 0 of 3 from the three-point line. She leads the Bearcats in scoring with 6, but she hasn't been efficient out on the floor offensively here in the first half.
Both her and Daniela Arias struggling from the field. They have combined now from the field for 3 of 17. As that inbound pass, a dangerous one, McEwen all over it, but Arias able to come down with the ball. A lot of dribbling by the Bearcats, eating time off the shot clock in many of their possessions in this game, as that jump shot way short by Myriandopoulos, and the Dolphins once again look to run. McEwen's pass too high for Flecker, and it's Spayu in the open floor, one-on-one with Passatoro, and Passatoro blocks that shot by Spayu. Fight for possession on the floor, and the referee blows the whistle. And a travel is called against the Bearcats, so possession will belong to CSI. A lot of Bearcat fans didn't like that call.
Neither does head coach Kellyanne Barrett, Joe. She's very upset with that call, but The Dolphins will have the basketball.
Bearcats continue to pile up the turnovers in this game, and that has allowed the Dolphins to extend their lead above 20 points as Flecker finishes at the rim once again. Scoop layup from in close. Not an easy shot, but Flecker made it look easy, and the Dolphins' lead is now 24 as you get a look at the turnover numbers. The Bearcats now with 13, 7 committed by the Dolphins.
Flecker and Passatoro, Joe, accounting for 30 of the 36 Dolphin points.
As that shot no good, but a foul is called, and that will send Daniela Arias to the line. Foul charged to Diana Todaro, her first personal. Dolphins' third team foul, and it's Arias to the line for 2.
And a little bit of a change for Diana Todaro. She's played extremely well for the Dolphins since coming over this year, her first year with the team, but now in her starting position. Dolphins needed to stay out on the floor, Joe, and not get into foul trouble in the last couple of games. She's done a very good job playing within herself and not picking up fouls and being able to stay out on the floor and give the Dolphins the minutes head coach Tim Shanahan needs.
You took the words right out of my mouth. This foul trouble has really been what's primarily slowed down Todaro. If she's out on the floor, she's been productive both offensively and on the boards. She'll put 2 more points up on the scoreboard right there off of a nice feed from Angelique Price, who faced a double team but was able to pass around it nicely. Dolphins lead now 26 points. Arias swings it over to Myriandopoulos and gets it right back. Barrett working against Flecker. She's doubled by Todaro, gets rid of it. 10 on the shot clock as Arias is stripped. It's stolen by Todaro. Todaro looking to out-dribble Arias up the floor. She does and can't finish at the rim, but a foul is called. It will go against Daniela Arias.
Yeah, and you know, Joe, when the Dolphins put their mind down and really come out and play aggressive defense, they're a handful, and they're giving Baruch everything they want here tonight. Just pressure all over the floor, not giving the Bearcats any room to operate at all. As you look at Todaro's numbers already, 6 points, 3 of 5 shooting, and 8 rebounds. Extremely efficient, solid performance from Todaro. And when the Dolphins were struggling offensively, Joe, in the beginning of the game, she did score the first 4 points for the Dolphins.
And as I said before, Todaro thriving both offensively and on the glass, and that stat line is a testament to that as the Dolphins now have extended their lead to 28 points. They've really blown this game wide open as the Bearcats have just struggled for offense from the opening tip all the way through now, the final 2 minutes of the first half. Barrett gives it up to Spayu, and she'll step back into the corner off the pass from Spayu and put up a 3. It's no good. As Barrett struggles from the field, continue. Todaro running the floor, and there's some versatility shown by Diana Todaro those last 2 possessions, able to dribble it up the floor, beat Arias to the rim, draw the foul, and right there, able to run the floor, get ahead of the field, and finish as Todaro now finds Flecker, and Flecker is called for the offensive foul. So Todaro gave it up to Flecker there. May have had a shot herself, but the foul is charged to Samantha Flecker. That's her first personal, and the Bearcats will inbound.
And Joe, Todaro, Flecker, and Passatoro account for 40 of the 42 Dolphin points so far here tonight.
It's been a strong offensive night for those 3 players thus far, and still plenty of basketball left to be played. I'm not sure how much of it they'll play in the second half with the Dolphins now leading by 30, but you have to figure they'll at least get out for the start of the third quarter. As Arias passes over to Myriandopoulos and gets it right back once again. How many times have we said that? It's been Arias handling the ball, such a large part of so many Bearcat possessions. As that pass too high for Arias, and once again the Dolphins running in transition off of a turnover. This time it's Price finishing with the left hand. The Dolphins lead has now exceeded 30 points. Dolphins 44, Bearcats 12. Once again, it's Arias with the ball for Baruch. Gives it up to Myriandopoulos and gets it right back once again. Spayu has it. Back to Arias. Looking for Barrett inside. She turns it over. And Bessie tried to find Price up the floor. Initially tipped, but her second attempt on the pass gets through to Price. And once again, the Dolphins score on an uncontested fast break layup off of a turnover. The lead is now 34 points. Shot clock is turned off. As Spayu puts up the 3-pointer and banks it in from the top of the arc, so that ends a scoreless drought for the Bearcats. And the Dolphins continue to thrive as Tadara caught that ball with a lot of momentum moving toward the rim. She was moving toward the basket with great speed there and still able to finish underneath, as that will bring the first half to a close. The lead for the Dolphins is 33 points. Our score at halftime, the Dolphins 48 and the Bearcats 15.
Yeah, you know, just way too much CSI Dolphin defense here for the Bearcats in this first half. And, you know, even when Baruch was able to go out and get that very early lead in the game, the Dolphins just seemed to turn up the defensive pressure, Joe, and close the vise tighter and tighter. And by the time we got into the closing stages of the first half, the Bearcats really struggled offensively. The Dolphins just continued to put huge amounts of pressure on them. And, you know, they've opened up a pretty solid lead here in this first half.
Well, once again, it was the turnovers that propelled the Dolphins to a huge lead here at halftime. As we wait to see if we'll have a guest here at halftime, we expect head coach Tim Shanahan to join us as Dave Pizzuto attempts to wave him over to the scorer's table. And Tim has heeded the call, and he will join us in just a moment here as his team has a 33-point lead at the half. And in just a few moments, we'll be joined by Dolphins head coach Tim Shanahan. And we're joined by Dolphins head coach Tim Shanahan. Tim, your team got off to a bit of a slow start and then came storming out from really after the first 3 minutes forward. It was all Dolphins in that first half. What changed?
I had asked them before the game. I said, we got burnt last year by Baruch. They came in, although, you know, they were on demand last year and whatnot, 3 of their 5 starters were all CUNY players, and they just came out and smoked us, and we got embarrassed. And I tell them, you know, it was a hard-earned win the other day against, CCNY, and it's going to be hard no matter – it doesn't make a difference, even though they're down player-wise and all these sanctions they got and whatnot. The kids that are there on that side of the court, they're here to play. They're here to play. And they got 2 kids on that team, Barrett and Melly, who went to Notre Dame, played with my daughter, as a matter of fact, at Notre Dame. They're excellent athletes. Melly's going to probably be number 15, the rookie of the year in the CUNY, and Shannon Barrett's a first, ballot and first team all conference. But Sammy's doing what she's got to do on defense, told her to deny it totally. She's throwing Shannon out of a game, and we're not making Melly so comfortable. Victoria did a beautiful job, and then so did Nicole and Bessie and Megan McEwen also. So listen, we're playing defense. That's it. I tell them we play defense, we're going to win. To get the offense comes second.
A lot went right in that first half. Your team a big 33-point lead. Anything in particular you're looking for in the second half?
I just have more of the same. Listen, I'm a gentleman too. I'm not going to be pressing up and down the court. I have too much respect for their staff and those people. But on the other hand, I got a game to win, and I got to gear these kids up. As I told them, we got to be ready for the last week of February. And whether they believe it or not, you're the defending champs, and it doesn't make a difference, defending champ not. You're still the College of Staten Island. You'll always have a target on your back, and you got to play that way. So you got to play. I got 4 seniors that I try to stress every day, and I don't have to stress it too much, where, time is of the essence. And, when I mention, the clock, life clock, they look at me like, why? And I go, listen, this is life, and it's going to hurt for me as much as you. But, you got to play with that sense of urgency, and that's what they're doing.
And your team certainly playing hard, playing well, and making the most of every minute out there. Great half, and we look forward to more of that in the second half.
Got it. And guys, you'd have to wave. I actually came over, so I apologize for all those times. Thank you so much, as always.
All right, thank you, Tim. That is CSI Dolphins women's basketball head coach Tim Shanahan, who just joined us here before our halftime break. When we come back, we'll preview the second half and talk a bit more about the first half. We'll have full first half stats and breakdown. When Mike and I come back, this is NCAA Division III women's basketball coverage here on CSI Sportsnet at csidolphins.com.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-one physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course.
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
And we're back here from the tank. Our score at the half, the Dolphins 48 and the Bearcats 15. After a bit of a slow start for about maybe 2 or 3 minutes at most, it was all Dolphins from that point forward. Huge first halves for Christina Passaturo, who was 7 of 12 with 18 points. Diana Todaro was 5 of 7 with 12 points and 8 rebounds. Samantha Flecker, 6 of 12 with 12 points and 3 rebounds of her own. So, Mike, aside from the stellar shooting and good work on the boards, what did you see from the Dolphins?
Yeah, you know, what you saw from the Dolphins is a lot of relentless defensive pressure that really caused a lot of problems for Baruch offensively. They turned the ball over 17 times in that first half compared to just 8 for the Dolphins. And the Dolphins with 3 quick turnovers early in that first quarter limited the rest of their first half turnovers to just 5. Other positive things you see, Dolphins doing a great job on the glass, out rebounding Baruch, as you could see on your screen, 26-16. And, you know, Baruch just 1 of 11 from the three-point line, and 1 of 9, I should say, for 11%. And that was their last three-point attempt. Just way too much CSI Dolphins here in that first half, and just put relentless pressure on the Bearcats, holding them to 6 points in the first half, 9 points in the second quarter, just 15 in the game. And if you're the Dolphins, you want to just come out and continue to do what you were doing in the first half.
And we saw the good work the Dolphins did on the boards up there on the screen in that first half. And I should mention that overall in the season, the Dolphins do have a positive rebounding margin of plus 3.5 rebounds. And that's really a testament to the hard work and effort this team puts into every possession, both at the offensive end and the defensive end. When they get a stop, they close it out with a defensive board. And on the offensive glass, this team has been relentless all season long, especially in this game. We mentioned the number of offensive rebounds they came away with early in this game. And early in the game, I believe the Dolphins immediately had 6 second chance points. So they did a great job on the offensive glass, and the offense really wasn't getting it done very early in the game, again, for only about 2 or 3 minutes. But from that point forward, this team shot extremely well. You saw the numbers up there on your screen before in the first half. Overall, from the field, the Dolphins in half number 1, exactly 50%, 21 of 42, and then hit a third of their threes, 4 of 12 from three-point range. Those were hit primarily by Christina Passaturo, who was 4 of 6 from downtown, continues to play efficiently. As we get a look at some replays from that first half, the Dolphins' stellar work defensively paying dividends right here as Angelique Price gets out ahead of the field and finishes in transition. That's just one of several Dolphins baskets off of turnovers from in that first half. Off of turnovers in half number 1, 17 turnovers committed by Baruch College. As you see, Diana Todaro finishing inside. The Dolphins scored 23 points off of the 17 Baruch turnovers. So the Dolphins definitely made the most of their stellar defensive play, and that's really the biggest reason why, you said it before, Mike, the biggest reason why this team finds themselves ahead by 33 points.
Yeah, and you know, you had an opportunity to interview head coach Tim Shanahan after that first half, and you know, you hear it right from the coach's mouth. Defense first, and that's what this team is looking for. And, you know, you look at this game and, you know, you see the Dolphins being able to outscore Baruch in fast-paced points, 18-0. That's all a function of defense, Joe. That's defense and rebounding. Points off of turnovers you mentioned earlier, but the Dolphins also able to pound the ball inside, outscoring Baruch in the paint 32-6. So, you know, you're seeing a lot of good things that you like here in this first half by this CSI Dolphin team. And, you know, they came into the game here today as a solid favorite against Baruch, and you see that here so far. And, you know, what the Dolphins wanted to do here this afternoon, Joe, is to come out and get a big lead, not find themselves in a position like they did last year where they get themselves in a close game and are able to get beat at the end. Here today, they came out, they took care of business. They have a 33-point lead here in the second half, and obviously that kind of lead going into halftime gives head coaches a lot of options.
And when you shoot the basketball as well as this team did, force as many turnovers as the Dolphins did, and perform as well on the glass as the Dolphins did in half number 1, it's not often that you won't find yourself leading by at least 20 points. And in this game, the lead for the Dolphins is 33. But very quickly, looking at Baruch and what they could do to perhaps make this a closer game, and I don't think the outcome is really much in doubt at this point with the Dolphins leading by 33 points and forcing as many turnovers as they did in half number 1. But Baruch shot the ball very poorly. They committed a lot of turnovers, but when they did take shots, they weren't necessarily high-quality shots, and the high-quality shots they did take typically didn't fall They shot very poorly from three-point range, 1 of 9, but a lot of what Baruch did wrong in that first half isn't seen on the stat sheet. Way too much dribbling on offense. The ball didn't really move much, and when it did, the floor was very poorly spaced. Players trying to set screens for the ball handler and really moving the defender into the ball handler, not sealing the defender off of the ball handler, and those weak screens resulted in a lot of the Bearcats' turnovers. If they can just clean that up, the turnovers should be cut down here in the second half, and they should have some more fruitful offensive possessions. It really can't get much worse. They only connected on 6 field goal attempts in that first half. Were outshot by the Dolphins 42-26. Those numbers, field goal attempts by both teams, and when you're taking 16 more shots in the opposition, you'll typically find yourself with a big lead. That's the position the Dolphins find themselves in heading into this second half, and it will be the Dolphins starting 5 on the floor to open up half number 2. The same goes for Baruch College. And we're underway here in the second half. It's Cray with the ball for the Dolphins. Swings it over to Price. Price looking, finds Cray and gets it right back. Tadaro has it on the left wing, gives it up to Passaturo. Passaturo swings it over to Price with 12 on the shot clock. Price finds Flecker just beyond the free throw line. Flecker with a strong move to the rim but can't finish. And it's rebounded by the Bearcats. That's step 1 of Baruch, making this a closer game. Keep the Dolphins off the offensive glass right there. No Dolphin in the area of the ball, and the Bearcats came away with the rebound. As Barrett finds Arias, can't knock down. It was a good look from just beyond the free throw line, and once again the Dolphins are out running. And Samantha Flecker finishes at the rim, so credit the Dolphins with 2 more fast break points.
Yeah, you know, Arias looks like she has a pretty nice shot there, Joe, but she's just 1 of 8 from the field, so she's having a hard time shooting here tonight.
Well, Arias has done a good job finding openings in the defense and can certainly dribble the ball well, has a good handle, but hasn't really found many openings for her teammates so far in this game. As she once again gets to the rim well there and puts up a floater that just didn't have enough under it, and it's an air ball. Didn't even catch the bottom of the net. So the Dolphins will inbound and move up the floor quickly once again.
Yeah, Dolphins just looking to get off to a good start here in the third quarter, Joe, and then it'll probably be extended time for some of their other bench players.
Dangerous pass by Price to Passaturo, nearly stolen by Arias. Passaturo crosses over, looks to drive, finds Cray at the top of the arc, 8 on the shot clock. And Flecker fires a deep 2-pointer, and once again the Dolphins on the offensive glass. It's Diana Tadaro who obliterated one of the Bearcats underneath. Cray with the basketball, defended by Spayu. Price gives it up to Cray in the corner. She drives, bounce pass to Flecker from Cray, and once again Samantha Flecker converts underneath.
Beautiful assist that time by Victoria Cray. That's her 3rd of the game.
The Dolphins' ball movement has been excellent here in this game. They haven't operated much in the half court, but outside of the first 2 or 3 minutes when they have operated in their half court offense, they have done a great job of it, finding easy looks around the rim and wide open 3-pointers. Arias with the open 3, and she knocks it down. Only credited with a 2. He must have had a toe on the line that I couldn't see behind our monitor, so credit Daniela Arias with 2 points. Score now 52-17. Dolphins still with a huge 35-point lead. Flecker with the ball just beyond the free throw line looking for Tadaro, and she is fouled. A pair of Bearcats in the area. Didn't really need to foul there.
Yeah, that was a tough interior pass that time. Tadaro did a nice job of drawing the foul. Dolphins will inbound.
So Tadaro will not be sent to the line, a non-shooting foul. Price swings it up to Flecker, who finds Passaturo on the wing, which prevents that ball from going out of bounds. Price has it top of the arc, finds Craig cutting back door. Passaturo wide open on the right wing, and another great possession for the Dolphins in the half court as Passaturo knocks down yet another 3-pointer. That is her 5th. Arias to Spayu, back out to Barrett. Barrett drives, puts up the floater, no good off glass. Flecker fights for the rebound and comes away with it. Flecker's pass tipped and stolen. Barrett with the pull-up jump shot, and she has been way off from the field after a good start. 4 early points.
Now 2 of 13, Joe.
And not much since. Nothing from the field since. as Pasaturo finds Cray on the right wing. Dolphins can well afford to take their time each and every possession. Cray dribbles to her left. Good defense by Spayu. 4 on the shot clock. Flecker finds Price in the right corner. Puts up an open 3. No good off the front of the rim. It's tipped away by Todaro and out of bounds. Possession to the Bearcats.
Nice possession that time by the Dolphins as we have an opportunity to get a look at that beautiful assist by Victoria Cray, feeding the ball into Samantha Flecker, who laid it up and in.
And it doesn't get much easier than that. And that statement applies to so many Dolphins baskets in this game. And here's yet another one of those is Christina Pasaturo, that wide open for 3. Won't often fail to convert. And right there, she knocks down her 5th three-pointer of the game. Dolphins' lead is 38 points over Baruch. And that lead has continued to grow here in the second half. Bearcats swinging the ball around the perimeter. Good open look for Arias. It's short. And that's rebounded by Rybisky, who just checked in for the Dolphins. She replaced Samantha Flecker, who headed to the bench for the first time in this game. Could be the last time we see her in this game. Cray has it with 10 on the shot clock. Finds Rybisky. Back over to Cray. Wide open three-pointer. No good. Todaro fights for the offensive rebound, comes away with it, and finishes underneath. Great work once again on the offensive boards by Diana Todaro, and a stop for the Bearcats. Really isn't a stop, as each and every time the Dolphins have put up a shot, you feel like they've had a 50-50 chance of coming away with the ball once again, and in many cases another easy look underneath, as that timeout called is a 30-second timeout. So we'll stay right here, and Mike, you have to love the Dolphins' hustle at the offensive end. Despite their huge lead, which is now 40, they've done great work on the offensive glass as we get another look at that most recent possession. Cray puts up the open three-pointer. It's no good, and you see there only one Bearcat on the side of the floor where the ball rebounded to off of the rim, and that made it an easy play there for Todaro to come away with it. Had a teammate nearby as well. I didn't catch who that was, but 2 Dolphins right near the potential rebound, only 1 Bearcat, and that's a numbers game that the Dolphins will win. They come away with the offensive board and another easy basket.
Yeah, and Diana Todaro now has 11 rebounds for the Dolphins here, Joe, in this game, and she added so much to the team coming off the bench, and now she has an opportunity to start with the injury to Jackie Calley, and she continues to show real strong defensive and rebounding ability, and is getting better and better offensively as well. So she's really been one of the big additions to this Dolphin team here this year.
And Todaro's really shown that she can do it all in this game. In transition, she's shown she can run the floor, get ahead of the defense, and catch an outlet pass for an easy basket. She's also dribbled the ball the length of the floor and drew a foul at the rim. We've seen her knock down some jump shots and finish in close, as right there it's Spayu who knocks down the jump shot from just beyond the free throw line. That brings the Bearcats' scoring total in this game to only 19 points with 4.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, Spayu, the exciting freshman for the Bearcats, and she's got quite a bright future.
As that pass nearly got away from Cray. Able to corral it along the sideline. 8 on the shot clock. Rybisky looking for Todaro, cutting to the rim. That pass too far out in front of Todaro. That's a Dolphins turnover.
Sorry, Joe. That was a nice defensive play that time by Barrett. She got in between where Todaro wanted to cut in the basketball. Rybisky put the pass in, but Todaro couldn't get there, and the Dolphins turn it over.
And we'll see another pair of Dolphins substitutions, maybe 3, as it's Pasaturo and Todaro heading to the bench. So 2 Dolphins substitutions. Pasaturo and Todaro out. DeMontro and Perrone in. Jump shot from the corner by Spayu, well short. Rebounded by the Dolphins. The 5 for CSI: Price, Cray, Perrone, DeMontro, and Rybisky. Also forgot Rosa Perrone. That was only 4 Dolphins. The 5th Dolphin, Rosa Perrone, playing in the middle as DeMontro puts up the 3. No good. Rebounded by the Bearcats, who can run. Arias comes to a stop just inside the free throw line. Bearcats will reset. Nice pass there, though, from Shannon Barrett inside, and finishing at the rim was Lisette DeBoard. It's Cray with the ball for the Dolphins, defended by Arias. Price finds Rubisky cutting to the rim, and an emphatic rejection there by Barrett. As that one swatted out of bounds over the baseline, and we'll have another Dolphins substitution. Daniela Zerpolo checks in for CSI, replacing Angelique Price.
So Victoria Cray, the only starter remaining out on the floor for the Dolphins, Joe.
As DeMontro puts up the jump shot, it's good. 2 points for Elena DeMontro. Her first basket of the game off the bench. Spayu works against Perone, and Zerpolo kicks it out. Spayu with the basketball once again, drives inside, gives it up to Barrett, and a foul is called on the inside. We'll see what the call is on. It's on Zerpolo.
Very few fouls in this game, Joe. Just 7 for Baruch, just 6 for the Dolphins, with just 2:53 remaining here in this third quarter.
And we'll see a Bearcats substitution.
See Sharon Barrett's numbers out on your screen. 6 points, but just 2 of 13 shooting.
It's Jacqueline Thamakun who checks in for Baruch College. And off of a missed free throw now, it's Zerpolo who brings the ball up for the Dolphins. She drives to her right, puts up a floater, and finishes nicely on the baseline. Tough shot there, floating that ball up on the baseline, but Zerpolo finished nicely.
Yeah, nice basket by Daniela, her first points of the game.
So Victoria Cray, the last Dolphin starter who remained in the game following the wave of substitutions, now heads to the bench with Megan McEwen entering. The Dolphins with 5 reserves, and as that foul is called on Rosa Perone.
Yeah, you know, I didn't know how much contact Rosa really made on that play, but she draws the foul. That'll be her second. Baruch back to the free throw line once again.
Barrett converts from the line on the first. One more upcoming. And her second free throw is good as well, as McEwen brings it up for the Dolphins.
She's now 5 of 6 from the line is Barrett.
Perone looking for McEwen on the bounce pass, expected a backdoor cut, but defended well there by the Bearcats. Not much of an opening for that pass. And the Dolphins will inbound along the baseline. Perone back to Zerpolo, swings it over to McEwen. DeMontro with 5 on the shot clock, back to Zerpolo, who floats it up with 2 hands once again. Rebounded by Rubisky, who finishes through the contact and one. And Brianna Rubisky will head to the line for one more.
Yeah, that was a nice move that time, not only grabbing the offensive rebound, but being able to keep her body under control as she was hit for the foul and able to lay it up and in for her first point of the game.
The Dolphins on the offensive boards once again have extended their lead back to 40 points. Arias with the ball, swings it over to Barrett. Arias drives, kicks to the right corner, and gets it right back. Barrett drives left, kicks out to Thamakun. Her pass, an errant one, travels out of bounds over the sideline. Dolphins ball.
Yeah, but, you know, if you're Baruch College, Joe, you got to like the way you've played here in this third quarter. You've done a little bit better job protecting the basketball, and you've played a little bit better here in the third.
They've protected the basketball better, and they've moved the ball a little bit better, too. We've seen some more ball movement from their possessions, but not enough to generate offense. We've even outscored the Dolphins here in this third quarter. I believe it's Dolphins +7 so far in quarter number 3. As Rubisky takes the pass inside, good defense from Barrett. Bearcats have one player advantage if they hurry. That shot may have been partially blocked on the mid-range attempt from Spayu. Dolphins come away with the board. Under a minute to go here in quarter number 3. McEwen brings it over to the left wing, swings it up top to Zerpolo. DeMontro finds Perone inside, and Perone finishes over Barrett with ease. That seems to be a set play the Dolphins are running. Get the ball onto the left wing, swing it around the perimeter, and then you'll have one player cut to the rim on the right side of the paint, who they've found easily underneath as you get a look at the points in the paint numbers. And it's the Dolphins 42, the Bearcats 8. That due in large part to the turnovers, but even in the half court, the Dolphins have found their way inside very well. Polo working against Spy, who gives it up to McEwen, who's defended by Arias. McEwen, with a long scoop layup attempt. It's no good, and yet another offensive rebound that Rosa Perone puts up and in off glass. That basket will count, and that will be the end of the third quarter. Our score after 3, the Dolphins 68, the Bearcats 24. When we come back, quarter number 4 will be played here on CSI Sportsnet at csidolphins.com.
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
There's something delicious happening this season at Tim Hortons, and it's only 99 cents. Get a rich, decadent hot chocolate or creamy French vanilla for the sweet price of 99 cents. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
And we're back here from the tank. Our score entering quarter number 4, the Dolphins 68 and the Bearcats 24.
Yeah, and Joe, while we have a quick second, let's take a look at the rest of the action in the CUNYAC Conference tonight. Brooklyn will play at Medgar Evers. York will be at Lehman. John Jay will be at CCNY. So that's the remaining action in the CUNYAC Conference here tonight.
On top of that, of course, we have the second half of tonight's doubleheader. The men from the College of Staten Island will take on their counterparts from Baruch College in game number 2 of our doubleheader. You'll have the play-by-play call on that one, Mike. We'll be on the air approximately 10 to 15 minutes following the conclusion of this first game, with pregame coverage for game number 2, as once again the Dolphins get the ball inside easily. Perone didn't have a clean handle on it and failed to go up with the shot. It's McEwen with the basketball now on the right wing. Swings it over to Zerpolo. And DeMontro looking for McEwen on the back door. Instead turns the ball over. That bounce pass once again was defended well. Spayu has had McEwen defended very nicely on those backdoor plays. As you get a look at the turnover numbers, that was number 11 for the Dolphins as opposed to 20 for the Bearcats, who only had 3 in that third quarter. And there's another turnover for the Dolphins. So possession right back to Baruch College.
Yeah, Baruch getting a little bit of relief from that relentless Dolphin pressure by the starters, being able to operate a little more efficiently here, Joe, in the second half.
Arias drives, floats one up over a pair of Dolphin defenders, and it's Perone who comes away with the rebound. Polo thought about the three-pointer, doesn't go up with it. Dolphins will reset with McEwen as they swing the ball into the left corner. And now back to the right. McEwen puts up the three-pointer. It's short, rebounded by Spayu. And here come the Bearcats. Arias takes it all the way and finishes with the left hand.
Nice looking move by Arias to take the ball to the basket. She now has 6.
Dolphins lead is 42 as McEwen drives to her left and gives it up to DeMontro. Same 5 for the Dolphins that finished the third quarter. DeMontro looking for somewhere to go with it. Now drives to her right along the baseline. Baseline was cut off nicely by Spayu. And a blocking foul was called prior to the pass. That foul called on Lisette DeBoard. Her third personal, team's first of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and I think she's the first player on either team, Joe, to get to 3 personals here today. It's been a quick played game with not very many personal fouls called here tonight. See those fast break points, 20-2 in favor of the Dolphins.
As Zerpolo goes up with the floater along the baseline once again, and that seems to be a shot she likes. As she once again connects on that difficult shot. Dolphins now at 70 points in this game with 7 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Bearcats continuing to move the ball, much more so than they did in the first half, and it's knocked away by the Dolphins, so Baruch will inbound along the baseline.
There's Apollo, just a freshman, Joe, also a very solid player on the CSI women's soccer team, so bright future ahead for Daniela in both sports.
No hesitation on that three-point attempt by Shannon Barrett, who knocks it down from a step or two beyond the arc.
Yeah, I believe that's the first three-pointer for Barrett here tonight, Joe. She now leads all Bearcat scorers with 12.
DeMontreux looking for a cutting Zerpolo. She's able to fight through the contact and get rid of the ball. Rubisky has it in the corner. Pass a bit too high for Perrone. Here come the Bearcats in transition. Arias looking to go all the way once again. She's blocked by McEwen. Good defense there in transition by Megan McEwen. It's easy to give up on a play like that when you're leading by 41 points. You have to love the effort there from the Dolphins defensively, as Zerpolo was halfway between shooting and passing, almost came down on the floor. DeMontreux over to Zerpolo. Back up top to DeMontreux, 3 on the shot clock. Perrone's mid-range jump shot is good.
Boy, you know, Rosa started to play much better offensively, Joe, not only in today's game, but in the last few games. And, you know, when the Dolphins start getting into big games later in the season, it's going to be very important that they get points and production out of the biggest player on the team.
Bearcats basketball now, as the Dolphins did make some substitutions at that last horn. A timeout was called just to make those substitutions, as Visaja Watson, Eltina Vojka, and Lena Bitar checked in for CSI. So it's DeMontreux, Watson, Zerpolo, Bitar, and Vojka for CSI. That will likely be the 5 for the final 6 minutes or so in this game.
You know, Joe, you mentioned the men's game coming up in about a half hour. The CSI men's basketball team has been red hot of late, and Baruch has been getting better and better. So we expect a really good second game here this afternoon. If you're nearby, come out, come to the tank, support the men's Dolphins basketball team. But if you can't make it, of course, we'll bring it to you right here on CSI Sportsnet.
Once again, coverage for the second game of tonight's doubleheader will begin approximately 15 minutes after the conclusion of this first game, as the men will take on Baruch College as well. Both the men and women with only a single loss within the CUNYAC Conference, and the women will keep it that way with a win here against Baruch in this first game. A very close game between the men of Baruch and the men of CSI the last time those two teams met. The Dolphins had a big lead at the half, and then the Bearcats came storming back in half number 2. We'll talk a bit more about that matchup prior to the start of our second game tonight. 5:19 on the clock. Zerpolo brings it up for the Dolphins. She's stripped, but it goes right to DeMontreux. Vojka has it now, defended by Barrett. Dangerous pass to DeMontreux. Caught Spayu out of position after she attempted the steal. Dolphins couldn't make anything of it. Winds up back in the hands of DeMontreux for 3, no good. And it's rebounded by Price. Here comes Spayu, can't finish over Bitar, rebounded by Barrett. And Bitar defending that shot as well. Watson brings it up for the Dolphins, nearly loses it to Barrett, who attempted to steal it from behind. Barrett lagging behind that play a bit.
Yeah, and, you know, you can see some talented players on this Bearcat team. They just have to figure out a way to operate a little bit more efficiently offensively, Joe. They've only shot 32% from the floor on the season, and, you know, if you're going to play that kind of game, you have to limit your turnovers, and they have to figure a way to get a little bit better offensive efficiencies.
The Bearcats played a much stronger second half than first half. Unfortunately, it's not been enough, as the Dolphins have still outscored them by 11 here in half number 2. And with 4 minutes remaining in this game, the Dolphins will cruise to a big victory as Apollo goes around the back. Arias with not much interest in chasing her down, and Zerpolo didn't look to shoot it. DeMontre has it in the corner, being hounded by Spayu. Gives it up to Bitar, who tries the bounce pass to Vojka. That opening was there, but it's Price who gets a hand on it and steals it for the Bearcats. She floats one up way too strong off the glass. And good hustle there by Arias, chasing down that rebound, tipping it over to a teammate. Now Barrett tries a three-pointer. That bounces up and down off the rim 3 times before it falls into the hands of the Dolphins. Zerpolo up to DeMontre as the Bearcats get set to make some wholesale substitutions. Vojka gives it up to Bitar, 7 on the shot clock. Still has her dribble, I thought, but didn't look to put it on the floor as Watson is blocked by Barrett. Bitar puts it up right after. Not sure if she's credited with a rebound on that one, but it would be yet another offensive board for the Dolphins.
Yeah, Dolphins get called for the shot clock violation, Joe. Obviously, you know, for the Dolphins, not that big an issue. You can run 30 seconds off the shot clock here for the remainder of the game, and wouldn't be a problem.
Well, I've been told we'll be joined by Christina Passaturo post-game, so we'll get a chance to ask her where her 2,000 career points ranks up with all of her accomplishments during her Dolphins career. I'm interested to hear what she has to say about that, among many other things following this huge Dolphins victory. Dolphins really did everything well in this game. Shot the ball well, rebounded it well, and played stifling defense that forced Baruch to commit over 20 turnovers in this game. Though they did clean things up in the second half. As I said before, it wasn't enough, coupled with poor shooting. Another pair of substitutions for Baruch College. Players on the floor right now for the Bearcats: Emma Price, Jacqueline Thamakun, Maria Myriandopoulos, Lisette DeBoard, and Dimitra Papadopoulos. 6 on the shot clock for the Dolphins as Zerpolo takes a two-handed runner once again. And that one looked like it was swatted away by Papadopoulos, but possession to the Bearcats with 2:10 on the clock.
Yeah, Dolphins just trying to play out the string here, Joe. Continue to play good defense, and an opportunity for a bunch of ladies to get some minutes here in the conclusion of this game.
Bearcats swing it over to the right wing. 3-point attempt by Myriandopoulos, no good. But the Bearcats come away with the offensive rebound. We haven't said that too often in this game as Watson tips that pass intended for DeBoard. It's Myriandopoulos who came away with the ball. She surveys the floor. Finds Thamakun on the left wing. Her three-pointer way short. That ball tipped up and down through the air. It's the Bearcats that come away with it once again, but only 5 on the shot clock. Do they realize it? That three nearly banked in by Papadopoulos. And it ricochets off of a Dolphins player, so possession will stay with Baruch. And that runner attempt, no good, but a foul is drawn by Myriandopoulos. It's charged to Lena Bitar. That's her second personal, Dolphins' second team foul.
Yeah, and that's just the second team foul for the Dolphins here in the fourth quarter, just one for the Bearcats. So I think the officials did a nice job today, Joe, letting the girls come out and play the game out on the floor. Both teams able to get a good pace going, and of course that favors the Dolphins.
Just over a minute to go here in this fourth quarter. The Dolphins' lead is 43 points. With this win, CSI will improve their record overall to 16-3, 10-1 in the CUNYAC Conference, as the Bearcats come away with a steal and foul committed by Vojka as Price looked to finish on the fast break.
And, you know, looking ahead for the Dolphins here on the schedule, Joe, they'll have York College coming in this Saturday, and then Medgar Evers coming up the following Tuesday. So a couple of teams that are probably going to find themselves pretty much overmatched against the CSI Dolphin team. And the Dolphins finishing up with 3 big games, Hunter here at home, and then on the road, Brooklyn and Lehman College, and that's where the regular season championship, Joe, will be decided.
Well, we spoke about it last year. The Dolphins wanted to finish strong heading into the CUNYAC tournament, and they failed to do that. Lost a couple of big games down the stretch that forced them to play a game here at home. I believe it was against John Jay in the opening round of the CUNYAC tournament. That game played here at the Tank, as I just mentioned. The Dolphins won that game big before heading to CCNY for the CUNYAC tournament, a tournament which they ultimately won despite a slow finish to the regular season. So, of course, the Dolphins would love to come away with a regular season championship, but if they don't finish as strong as they would like, they've shown that they can overcome that and play some very good basketball in the CUNYAC tournament despite a slow finish to the regular season, as the Dolphins played extremely well in the CUNYAC tournament last year. A pair of big wins, especially that game against Lehman that you and I covered from the top row of the bleachers at the Nat Holtzman Gymnasium at CCNY.
Yeah, you know, Joe, that was quite a turnaround to the season for the Dolphins. They really spent the entire season in first place in the conference, and then those 2 losses at the end of the regular season dropped them out of a first-round bye. And, you know, everybody was concerned, you know, and yet the Dolphins came back and really made a statement in that CUNYAC tournament, and they've never looked back here this year, continuing to build on that success.
I think it's safe to assume that if they finish poorly again this year, there might be some concern as well, but the Dolphins alleviated that concern very quickly in the early rounds of the CUNYAC tournament last year, all the way to a championship. And they take one step closer to a CUNYAC regular season title as they pick up the victory here tonight over Baruch College. Our final score, the Dolphins 76 and the Bearcats 32. As I said before, the Dolphins improved to 16-3 overall, 9-1 in the 10-1 in the CUNYAC conference. They came into the night 9-1, of course. The Bearcats fall to 4-11 overall and 4-6 in the CUNYAC conference. The Dolphins could help out the Bearcats in staying above that red line should they come away with a pair of victories in their next 2 games, as we are joined by Christina Passatoro, the Dolphins, with another big win here tonight. And Chrissy, in that first half, you guys played extremely well. Of course, you shot the ball extremely well once again, but you found a lot of openings from beyond the arc. And where did you find those openings? How did your team manufacture those openings from three-point range?
It's definitely a lot easier to find the openings when a team's playing a zone. You know, we spread the floor well, we hit the high post, and the wings tend to be open, and some nights are a lot hotter than others. And for myself and everyone else on the team, it just seemed to be a really hot night.
It was certainly a big first half for you guys, and we didn't get a chance to ask you about it here on CSI Sportsnet after you accomplished scoring your 2,000th career point, and we wanted to ask you, where does that rank among your career accomplishments as a Dolphins player?
It's definitely below the championship by far, but it's a really cool thing, and it's a really nice thing to be able to share with the coach and the team, because it's just as much their accomplishment as mine. As you saw tonight, I don't get open shots all on my own, and a lot of players don't get to play in the type of offense that I play in, where, you know, coach gives us the green light to shoot, so that makes it a lot easier.
And Mike and I just discussed it. One last thing. You guys went into the CUNYAC tournament last year with a pair of losses in the final 3 games. How important is it to you guys to go into the tournament strong this year with some wins?
Of course, it'd be nice to go in strong, but last year is just living proof. Even if we do go in with a few losses, you know, you got to kind of shake it off, learn from it, and keep going, because a few losses doesn't mean a loss in the playoffs.
Well, it certainly didn't mean anything in the tournament last year. Some losses and then some big wins in the CUNYAC tournament all the way to a championship. Congratulations on the milestone and the win here tonight. Thanks for joining us, Chrissy.
Thank you.
That's Christina Passatoro joining us here as the Dolphins win big yet again. Our final score in this one, the Dolphins 76, the Bearcats 32. Mike, any final thoughts?
Yeah, you know, just the Dolphins, I think, got everything they wanted here tonight. They built an early lead. They played strong. They played the kind of defense that head coach Tim Shanahan is looking for. They did a nice job rebounding the basketball, and after a few initial turnovers, they did a good job eliminating that as well. So a very good, solid game by the Dolphins here tonight as they're able to propel themselves to a solid victory. They have a couple of very winnable games coming up next against Medgar Evers and York College before they get ready to go down the stretch. Hunter, Brooklyn, and Lehman to finish the regular season for the Dolphins.
3 huge games down the stretch. You mentioned it. Hunter, Brooklyn, and Lehman all within the conference. The Hunter game will be broadcast here on CSI Sportsnet. The next 2 matchups against Brooklyn and Lehman on the road. But we're not done yet here tonight. Another broadcast coming up next. CSI men's basketball versus Baruch College. That game tips off at approximately 7:35. We'll rejoin you on the air between 7:10 and 7:15. This has been Joe Foreman for Mike Baybuski and our engineer, David Pizzuto. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. We invite you to join us for game number 2 in approximately 20 minutes here on CSI Sportsnet at csidolphins.com.